Check 1 2, check 1 2. I guess I should go ahead and turn on the music. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. Hey everyone, welcome to... I was about to say food truck. We don't really do a food truck anymore. Welcome to Mahjong at Night. Well, my name is Ruka, and yeah. So, I want to say a few things first before we get started. I am super worked up in the worst way possible. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin with this. Like, seriously, I don't know where to begin. It's been a frustrating week, so to say, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. And I need a huge stress relief. Gigantic stress relief. I wish it was the weekend already. Technically, it is the weekend for most people. For me, though, I still have tomorrow before I get my weekend. But oh my gosh, I am so annoyed, frustrated, all of that. And the worst part is, it's things I have no control over. For the most part, I don't usually let things I have no control over get to me. But if it's something I have to like deal with for a decent amount of time, it's a little bit, how should I say this? A little bit more difficult. I always work on Saturdays, Amy. That's nothing new. That's nothing new. But it's just how do I say this? It's just personal work stuff that I have no control over, that didn't used to be there. Restrictions that did not used to be there. Now they're adding restrictions to us for who knows what reason. I don't understand. But it's annoying. It's annoying. Remember that thing when I said I'm thinking about going to school last time? It's kind of the application is like halfway there right now, and I'm hoping that all the people I asked for letters for get it in, so that I can turn in the application, and that way I can hear early whether or not I actually get into the program. That would be nice to know ahead of time. I'm still quitting my job, regardless of whether I get in or not, but that's a different story. Anyway, let me warm up first while we don't have people, and then I'll spill the rest of the tea as we go. I'm also gonna maybe bump up the volume just a teeny bit, but not too high. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. I think the only saving grace for me recently is that I started Palworld, and I've been playing Palworld a little bit offline, off stream, and you know what you've seen on stream. It's really fun. Palworld is really fun. It gets me, I wouldn't say it gets me relaxed, but at least it provides an outlet for my negative energy. What do we call this negative energy? Frustrations. It gives me an outlet for my frustrations. A somewhat healthier outlet than anything else I could have done. If this was my old job, my very first job, before my very first professional job. I guess you can call it professional job. It's my first job out of college. Is that I was a pharmacy technician, meaning I worked in the pharmacy. I assisted the pharmacist, right? And basically that's what I did. I worked in the hospital though, so it's a little bit different from the pharmacy you see in stores and stuff. And in the hospital pharmacy, yes, you do fill prescriptions for the patients that are in the hospital, but also you are also responsible for making IVs. You're also responsible for delivering medications to the floors. And depending on how big your hospital is, it could be pretty big. And depending on how big your hospital is, you may have one or two or more pharmacies. I think the hospital I was in wasn't that big. It's like a medium-sized hospital. I don't know exactly how many beds, but we were the central pharmacy. There was another pharmacy across the street, but that's like for outpatient stuff. So I never worked that. That's more retail than the one in the hospital. The one in the hospital is strictly only for inpatients. And that was my very first job. Taught me a lot of good stuff about perseverance as well as work ethic and how to work quickly and accurately and all that good stuff. But it was also a very frustrating job for various reasons. At the very least, it's not managerial complaints. At least it's not managerial complaints from my first job. It was more like just how crazy everything is in the hospital, I guess, which gets pretty crazy in the evenings. Like, you think it's crazy in the mornings. Apparently it's somewhat crazy in the evenings towards nights because anything can happen. Meanwhile, in the morning it's more stressful because you have got to deal with doctors and such. Doctors aren't quite as active in the evenings and nights apparently, so the stress is a little bit different. Also, you have to deal with emergencies, I guess, which, you know, it's fine. I was okay with that for my first 2 years outside of college working. Thankfully it did teach me a lot of stuff, but at the same time I did get frustrated a lot during those days. But at least during those days I could take out my frustration on physical activity during work. And what I mean by that is, you know, I'm doing physical labor. I'm basically physical labor during work as I take the medications, refill medications, like stock medications on floors and stuff like that. And basically I think I clocked in about 8,000 to 10,000 steps whenever I'm assigned to deliver stuff to the floor in an 8-hour period, which is pretty good. I lost a decent amount of weight back then. I think I gained like weight during college, and I'd lost that weight during those 2 years, which was great. I also was very healthy. Not so much right now because I'm not as active, but that's a different story. Anyway, the frustration I have now is almost the same kind of a frustration as back then. Not the same type, but the same energy. And regarding that energy, at least back then I had something I could use to, you know, work that energy off physically. And then at the end of the day, it's just my mental health that was shot, but that's a different story. These days, my mental health is being restored by streaming and gaming and all that stuff. But the frustration is I can't let that off. I can't vent off that frustration at this job because there's not as much physical activity, right? It's mostly what do you call this? Dexterity involved, paperwork and all that stuff. Not as much opportunity there. Yeah, you could probably say I could work it off by actually working out after work, but I'd have so little time after work anyway. I don't think I have enough time to do a workout as well as the videos I've been meaning to make, as well as streaming and all that stuff, and just taking care of myself. It's like, sorry, I am right there. I am so right there with my frustrations right now. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Yeah, I mean, if you work in a office setting, or I would consider the laboratory as an office type setting just because of the type of work it is. If you work in that kind of setting, it's there's not a whole lot of things you can do to vent other than I mean, there's not a whole lot of things you can do to vent physically. Let's just say it that way. You can walk, but walking is not gonna really help. You can run outside during your breaks, but you're gonna be like pretty tired when you get back in, and probably a little bit harder to concentrate. So it's like, what do? You just kind of bottle it all up until you get home. But oh my gosh, I wish I can talk about the specifics of what's frustrating me, because it's BS I never had to deal with before. At least it's BS I didn't have to deal 1 year ago when I signed up for this job. I mean, I was never going to stay past my contract just because I don't like the area. Not necessarily the job, but now I have another reason. I have another reason to not want to stay here. But that is that, and this is this. And I am like looking for so many ways out. Looking for another job, thinking about going back to school, still applying regardless of whether or not I get into the program, and whether or not I get to the program, quitting. But those are my two options. Get another job or go back to school. At the very least, going back to school will give me a new skill set, which hopefully will still be relevant 2 years after the program starts, just because it's kind of like a data pipeline driven program, and with the use of AI and such, I'm not sure if it's still going to be relevant, though. I guess I can still be the guy making the AI for the decision tree making and stuff like that. So that's still okay if I think of it that way, and if that's actually going to be part of the job description. I personally have nothing against AI, except for, there's always bad use cases for AI, and that's really what you hear most in a lot of places. But there are good use cases for AI, and there is a case for AI being useful in certain types of work. I know a lot of people are kind of like, but my gerbs, I know it sucks. It just means you have to do something else if you can't do the thing that you used to do. Or you pick up that skill to be able to actually manage the thing that the AI is doing, so that you make sure that AI is not making any mistakes. There's that also. So I mean, there's opportunities, but there's also, like, I understand it. There's frustration with that thing taking over your job, and now what do? I'm also, I mean, I kind of see it this way. We get a little bit complacent with our jobs in life and what we're doing, and sometimes, no matter how sucky it is, as long as it's stable, it's comfortable, right? And you just kind of want to stay there until something really, really, really frustrates you that you want to quit. Whether it be the job, the bosses, pay, whatnot. And then that's when you get the gumption, basically, to get up and quit. But before then, if everything is hunky-dory, you really don't have any, for the most part, unless you're dissatisfied with what you're doing, there's really no incentive to do anything else. At least that's how I was. That's how I was for many, many years in my previous job before I had to leave for reasons. And it took me, I guess, 3-4 years to get around to the idea of going back into school, because I never wanted to go back to school. And just because it's like, I already went through so much schooling. You do 12 years of elementary to high school, and then another 4 years of college. And then I did another 1 year of master's, not immediately, but after I quit the pharmacy job. And now it's like, I don't want to go to school anymore. I just want to work and earn money. And that's great, but sometimes you have to go back to school for whatever reason to be able to get more skills so that you're still relevant in the workforce or whatever. It'd be great if you don't have to. But the thing is, the thing you go into for school, hopefully would pay you better than whatever you're doing right now. That's at least the hope right now with that I'm getting to. And sorry if I'm not reading the message, I gotta vent this right now. Let me catch up. A friend's partner has been working machine learning for years at a university. That's actually pretty neat. I know there's a lot of people that do that already, and I don't know how complicated it actually is. I think the most complicated thing is just actually getting the database to learn the thing you needed to learn and not get contaminated, because once the database is contaminated, it's very, very difficult to fix it, is what I understand. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the things that you have to consider when you're doing machine learning. Do not contaminate the database, otherwise it's going to not be as good as you want it to be. So you better have regular backups where it's actually clean. So that management comes in, right? Like management comes in. That, in my mind, that's how it works. I don't know if that's actually how it works in reality, but it makes sense to me just because, you know, backups are nice. Whenever AI comes up in my class, I always joke with the students that I'll be replaced one day, but I assure me it's impossible. It depends on what you do. There are some things that AI could be very useful for in assisting, but as a outright replacement, I would be hesitant to a degree, because it would have to be really, really good before it can actually replace a person. And I think that's what people are worried about, especially right now with AI art is one of the main things that people are worrying about. And yeah, AI art can look really, really nice if you know what to do with it. Now, as far as how it gets to be really, really nice, that's a different story altogether. I'm not going to touch into that. I have my own opinions. I will not voice them here unless it's relevant. But at the very least, as a brainstorming tool, it is really, really good for that. And then there's other things that, you know, AI can assist you with your job. I mean, I don't think AI can specifically do doctor's work, not yet anyway. It's still so far off for that. But it can do like accounting, clerical work, and that kind of stuff. But you still need to oversee it, just to make sure it's not doing anything wrong, especially if you're relying on AI. If you're just relying on a simple program, it's a little bit more airtight. But how airtight that program is depends on who's programming. With machine learning, that's a little bit different. AI is as flawed as we are, sometimes even more flawed, if you don't teach it right. That's the main thing. I'm not gonna lie, I considered getting a second master's too. Friend has 2 and was like, how many masters do we need these days? That's a good question. My first master's was to just get into the medical laboratory, which I can also possibly do research. However, most of the research positions are like, must have PhD, and I'm like, screw that. I do not want to do a PhD. PhD is not just for 3-4 years. PhD is like until you get that project done, which could be a long time. And the PhD stipend is crap. I don't want to live like that. I also know for a fact that I do not have anything I want to research personally for a PhD. Yes, getting a PhD will open so many doors for you. But you also need a certain personality to even be able to push through just getting a PhD. A lot of people try to go for the PhD and then find out it's not for them because of all the hoops and all the hoops and departmental drama and shenanigans that happen, which does happen, that they have to go through. And it's like, I'm okay with a master's, but you got to make sure that master's is relevant for a job. That's pretty much it. I've never gone for a PhD ever. Don't feel like it. Never wanted to. I knew from the start That was just not my thing. I just wanted to go through college, get my job, and done. I mean, I originally wanted to become a pharmacist until I saw what pharmacist work was, and it's like, nope, not for me. Yes, you get paid a lot, and yes, maybe pharmacy school isn't that difficult at the end of the day. However, I would be bored out of my mind. That is not for me. I do not care. I mean, job security wise, it probably isn't too bad. It's probably worth the boredom. But I need something to something to bite into. The job I'm currently doing, or have been doing for the past almost 10 years now, actually, has become so easy for me that there's basically no challenge. If I wanted to climb up the ranks, so to say, I would be possibly a manager, possibly a field associate or something like that for a company, which I have considered and I am considering. It's a little difficult for some reason to get into those. I'm not exactly sure why, but anyway. And then there's like service engineers, but apparently depending on which service engineer you're doing, they got some weird requirements, which makes it also difficult, but that's a different story altogether. Anyway, my paths are kind of limited. I really don't want to work in the lab anymore if I can help it. So what's my other option other than going those paths, which I don't mind, but at the moment I'm not in a position to accept any of those jobs just because I think this is a bad decision on my part, thinking about it, but just because I want to do a 3-month trip to Japan. Very selfish on my part, I understand. And I also do not want to be in the place I am, basically. So it's like, yeah, I mean, what do we do then? What do we do then? I mean, I guess technically after I come back from Japan, well, I still be job searching before then. I'd be job searching before coming back from Japan, which is gonna be a little bit weird if that's something I have to do. And I could plausibly get a job right after I come back, you know. That's not guaranteed. I think the last time I tried to find a job when I was jobless was about 6 months. I think it took about 4 months to get an interview. I think it took 3 months to get one interview, and it took another 4 months. I'm gonna go on another round. Sorry. It took 4 months to get one interview, and 3 months to get one interview, and then a second one 4 months later, and then it was 6 months later when I actually got the job, which was, I was super depressed at that time. You have no idea. Being a NEET sounds nice and all if you don't have to pay all the bills. And even if you do, even if you don't pay all the bills, you need to find something to do for yourself. Otherwise, other than gaming, which you can probably monetize as streaming, but you know that almost always does not pan out. This is more of a hobby than anything else. But if you can make it work, hey, great. I would love that life too if I could, but I'm not counting on it. That's the thing. I am not counting on it. Pharmacists here are doing a little bit more, I feel. I wonder if they make things more interesting when you're able to prescribe a few things. Yeah, I think around here the prescriptions are mainly the doctor's duty, or at least doctors and PAs. Pharmacists around here cannot prescribe. What all they do really is dispense, make sure everything is correctly dispensed. They can give advice. There's this position called, or maybe not position, a role I should say, because I don't know if it is a position per se. There's a role that where the pharmacist in a hospital setting can, it's like a pharmacy, what is that called? Consultant? assistant. I'm not exactly sure. It was a weird thing that was brought up when I left the pharmacy, but it just seemed like a glorified position where the doctor didn't want to do any dosing. The doctor can do dosing. It's actually part of their job description. But some doctors don't want to or can't do that or don't feel comfortable doing that, so they leave it to the pharmacist to do the dosing, because let's face it, the pharmacist probably actually knows what the correct dosing is for certain things for patients and such. And the doctor is there really, I mean, the doctor is while they can do it, may not want to do it. It's those kind of situations. Anyway, for the most part though, what I saw the pharmacist do in the hospital was review the orders, enter the orders, and review the orders being filled. That was pretty much it. I call that a very boring job. It's a very stable job, but it's also a very boring job. Did not want to do that. In the retail setting, they also do the same thing, minus the order entry. And they also, a lot of the stuff that the pharmacist may do is delegated to the pharmacy technicians, which they sign off on. Basically, it's, I don't know. I mean, it's a cushy job, but it's also a very boring job for me personally. So it's not just for me. It's not for me. But yeah, anyway, I don't know how I got onto that rant. Oh yeah, I originally wanted to become a pharmacist, but I don't know. And then I've somehow found myself in the lab after what do you call this? Oh jeez, really? That's painful. Horu, you are. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, I'm back now, trying to get into grad school again. Hopefully, I can get in. If I don't, I guess it's job hunting for me after Japan, which I'm fine with. I really didn't want to have to move back home in the meantime, but I guess I'll have to after I quit the job, because paying for rent is kind of expensive. It's kind of expensive when you're trying to wait for a job. Though I had to do that before when I was in my old place, just because I don't know, it just seemed like it just seemed like the best thing to do at the time. Just birth control they can prescribe that I've seen so far. Okay, I mean, I think some birth control. No, I don't think they can even prescribe that around here. They can. I think they can like recommend and stuff. But hey, Tommy, welcome. The streamer lewd? No, but the streamer is very pissed right now. Pissed about life, not necessarily life, but very pissed about their job. Very pissed about possible futures. Some maybe a little bit of worry in there also. Okay, this is really bad. I probably shouldn't be doing this. Anyway, and just trying to do their best for the next 7 months. Are you serious? Trying to do their best for the next 7 months to survive, basically, before they have to quit. Yeah, that's where I am right now. What happened to my job? Nothing particular with the job itself, but management has imposed ridiculous amounts of restrictions on us that wasn't present a year ago. And I am wondering where it's all coming from, because it doesn't make any sense. At least a lot of things they want to implement do not make any sense. So it's like, why? At the same time, it's like, I think I know why, but they won't admit it. So it's like, yeah. That's why I'm super frustrated. On the other hand, outside of that, I have been playing quite a bit of the Palworld. Well, I played Palworld the first time earlier this week, and I played it again yesterday on stream. And then since yesterday on stream, I played it a little bit off stream, just to rearrange the base, maybe grind a little bit. And has anyone here played Palworld or seen people play Palworld, and you know what's kind of going on with the game itself? It's very fun. It's very fun. To me, I like it better than Minecraft or Terraria or any of those other ones. Terraria was fun, but the thing is, direction in Terraria is a little bit weird, but it does have actual progression. Minecraft, zero progression. No, it has progression, but zero direction. It's only controversial if you buy into the rumors, which after all the interviews that's been done with the devs, honestly, the devs deserve everything. The devs deserve everything that they did right with the game. So honestly, yeah, they did good. They did good. And also, there's like 8 million people on Palworld right now. So what? I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that. The game is fun. At the end of the day, the game is fun. It's built very well. Maybe it's still a little bit empty because it is technically still in early access. There's still maybe quite a bit more of improvements to do, but at least the base game itself right now is good. So I have no complaints regarding that. Gameplay loop is pretty good, very important. It actually keeps me invested, unlike some in the same genre. Yeah, I think that about covers it. The Pokemon with guns thing, quote unquote Pokemon, not really Pokemon, but Pokemon with guns thing, I think it's just funny. I think it's just funny. So I'm all for it. I am honestly all for it. I have nothing against it. Having a decent pre-release seems to be an accomplishment itself. I think what's even better though, not just having a decent pre-release, it's also that despite being in basically early access, it runs really well, which says a lot compared to Pokemon that doesn't even run well on full release. Do you get what I'm saying there? Do you get what I'm saying there? If you just look at their recent games, I'm not talking about the remakes, though maybe the remakes also might be at fault, I haven't seen. But if you've seen their recent new games, you know how badly those ran. And there's really no excuse for it. Honestly, zero excuse for it. But I feel like, you know, if you've seen the interviews with these devs, basically what it is like, they had like the budget of like a really tiny budget. I think it was at least a 2 or 3 man team. I don't know exactly how many people, but they got a gun otaku from a convenience store to help them with the game, and they got like a game engine on a flash drive as most help from, I guess, some people who made Craftopia. I haven't tried Craftopia. What I did see of it though didn't interest me too much, and I've heard of Palworld for quite a while now. I've heard of Palworld for quite a while now, and I was just kind of curious what it was going to be when it came out. Because at the time when it was first announced years ago, it was also like, oh cool, it's Pokemon with guns. How good is this actually going to be? 3 years later, it's actually really good, which is pretty cool, considering all the stuff they went through, and also considering these guys had basically zero game dev experience. Think about that. I mean, everyone has to start somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere. But these guys making that game with zero game dev experience, also multiplayer, with basically zero issues. Maybe not all the way zero issues, but for the most part, fairly flawless implementation of multiplayer, where a lot of people tend to have issues with. That is amazing. So all the props to those guys, and I hope the game gets even better. Well, here's the thing. They started from, apparently the way a friend of mine who does game dev explained to me is that starting from multiplayer and building off of that is better than starting single player and then trying to add multiplayer later, just because it's a lot easier to do it that way. And like it's easier to start from multiplayer and build up rather than add multiplayer afterwards, is how it was explained to me. And that's why it runs so well. Other than that, also the decision to use Unreal Engine versus Unity. You don't really think about that, but apparently Unreal Engine is a lot more stable than Unity, and if you've played games that were made on Unity or use Unity, then you kind of have an idea on how buggy some of those games or programs can be. But a lot of people use it because it is quote-unquote free, not so much anymore. But Unreal is just, I guess, more robust overall, which is something good. Okay, well, I have been sufficiently beaten up these last two games. No Batsu for me, though I did prepare some plums here. I'm just too pissed off to do it. Unreal is also free? Nice, I didn't realize that. Well, I think most people don't use Unreal because it's supposedly more complicated. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, if anyone would like to join in some Mahjong gaming. Wait, why can I not see the room? Hold up, let me try that again. Create room versus AI 300 seconds. Oh no, oh, that was because it was versus AI. East only. There we go. East only. Anyone who wants to play, please join. I'm gonna keep the room open. We do need at least 2 people to start, but if you don't mind playing with 2 AIs, I think we can do that too. But I would like for at least 2 people to join if possible. I've heard people say that Unreal is more complicated, but because it's what I started with, it's much easier for me than Unity. You know, I guess it also depends, yeah? It also depends, but I also hear that Unity has really, if not bad documentation, then really bad, I don't know, programming, and it crashes in the weirdest ways, apparently. I say that because one of the other people I talked to, devs on Unity for a company, and the amount of bugs that happen with Unity is unreal. No pun intended. Meanwhile, I don't hear a lot of people use Unreal, but for the people that do use Unreal, their products usually don't have too many issues, which is great. Which is great. Oh, is it just Amy right now? Sorry, Amy. I think we're gonna have to, unless you're okay with 2 AI, I'm gonna probably go for another round of ranked. I may. Okay, I'm gonna add AI. Let's do 1 round of AI, and then if we don't have any more people join next time, I'm gonna go back to ranked and maybe get beat up some more, and then my rank is gonna go down. I want to get back up to at least 400. Adept to 400, please. But yeah, Unreal is better for beginners because visual scripting with blueprints will help your code so much. Oh, it has visual scripting? Heck yeah, that's a lot better than well, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot better. I don't know because I haven't used Unity. I tried using Unity once and I was so confused on what to do. But if Unreal is free, I might give it a shot whenever I can. Doubt it. I don't know if I have enough time to do anything like that. But if I ever find any time to do so, I might look into it. But visual scripting helps a lot as far as organization goes. I've seen a few visual scripting things before, and at first I was like, why would anyone script like this? And then after doing it for a little bit, okay, I think I kind of understand. It's still not my cup of tea. I would still rather do the actual typing out and stuff like that. But if it does help, then why not? Why not? AI beating up an AI, wow. AI violence. That's what's going on right now. Anyway. But yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Palworld, and the number of things that you can do in there is kind of funny. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's like comprehensive, but if you've seen some gameplay of Palworld, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Launching one of your pals with a bazooka, which is part of their skill set, by the way, and then the number of pals that just have guns by default, which is part of the gimmick, but still pretty funny. And then yeah, you can enslave people. I say enslave, but I say that in quotation marks, because technically, it's more like a capture. And then what you do with them afterwards, that's on your own. That's on your own. It doesn't really matter what you call it. That's on you. Where do these animals find these guns? People. People were on the island. Where do you think they get the guns from? That's where they got the guns from. I think the other answer I've seen for the guns were, there was a comic of Shadow leading all the pals, and apparently Shadow gave them the guns or something. Shadow the Hedgehog. Which, you know what, I quite understand. I quite understand. Shadow did the guns thing first, but no one really cared about that. Shadow was too edgy. Probably why no one cared. But when you get something as cute as something that looks like a Pokemon, give it a gun, yeah. Now that's funny. Now that's funny, as well as all the other things that they can do. I think other than the Pokemon with guns, which to me is the gimmick, but it's not the main thing. To me, the main thing with Palworld is just being able to do your usual survival open world thing with direction on what to do, which, you know, there are quite a few of those open world stuff that have no direction on what you should do or can do, and you're kind of just out there trying to figure out everything unless you use a wiki, which I feel like kind of defeats the purpose of doing these open world stuff. You're supposed to figure out what to do. Why use a wiki and that someone else made? I don't know, but that's a me thing more than anything. But for the most part, the thing I like with Palworld is that you're given set goals on what to do. If you run out of once you finish all the tutorials, the question comes up, what do you do next? And the answer for that is, what does the PAL box say? The PAL box gives you quests on how to upgrade it. And that is a good starting point as any on how to progress through the game. On top of that, you have towers, which are basically the game's version of guilds. Not guilds, Pokemon, what do you call this? Pokemon gyms? And apparently there's hidden lore in the game that you can find out by collecting all these notes and stuff. I haven't read any of the new notes other than the first one that I found in the game in my first playthrough. Not the first playthrough, but in the first time I booted it up. So apparently there's some deep lore in Palworld that if you read all the Castaway notes, you get a bigger picture of what's happening. But yeah, when I say gyms, I mean like, so they're called towers, and they're literally a tower, and they're kind of spread out all over the map. You're led to one tower as part of the tutorial. Doesn't mean it's easy, but you're led to one part of the map as part of the tutorial. And the other 4 towers are basically bosses to check you on how you are doing. And of course, they get stronger and stronger, as it should in an RPG kind of setting. Now, I haven't found any of them, and once you do beat a boss, you don't really get anything special, I don't think. You get like these things called technology points, ancient technology points, which unlocks more things to build. But it's not like gym badges or anything like that, and the gym badge is giving you like extra stats or lets Pokemon higher than you obey you or something like that. They don't do that. If you do somehow catch pals that are higher level than you, they just scale the level down. That's what they do, which it kind of sucks on one end, but on the other end, it's like it's how they balance the game so that you're not like mowing down everything with something overpowered, which I respect in a way. Hey, Lucats, welcome. Yeah, how's it going? How have you been doing lately? How's everyone been doing lately? Hopefully you're doing a lot better than I have this week with frustrations and whatnot. But I guess since Lucats is here, we can get another... What do you call it? We can get another friendly match going after this. Right now, Amy and I are playing against 2 AI. Because we didn't have a third person, but now we have our third person. But yeah, I'm just kind of like talking about random stuff. Mainly Palworld because it's my current obsession. And I want to play more of it. But I need to make a video. And I can't play it until at least next week. You will see more Palworld next week. That is just going to happen. I'm sorry if you've been seeing it everywhere on Twitch and YouTube. It is my obsession, and I feel like I was kind of debating if I should stream the journey of Palworld rather than do it all offline. But I figure, why not? Let's just stream it. Let's see what shenanigans we get up to on stream, and see where this thing takes us. So that's why I'm going to be streaming more Palworld at the very least for the next week or two. Also, speaking of shenanigans that happen in Palworld, I have already had shenanigans off stream that I was not able to record because I don't have everything set up to do that when it did happen. But my base has been raided a total of 5 times already. 1 for each time I have logged back on, which is like, what? And these raids have destroyed my base as well as some of my pals, and it's like, okay, that's a thing. And I think I might be stuck in a loop right now because I haven't gone off and done something else. So it's like, yeah, okay. Maybe I don't log back on until the next time I stream it, and then maybe I'll be able to progress a little bit more. Forgot what line of work you do? I work in a medical laboratory. Yeah, that's my line of work right now. I work in diagnostics, so yeah, it's all clinical stuff. Funny thing you mentioned Palworld. I'm playing it right now. How do you like it? How do you like Palworld? Were you here when... I think you were here, right? When I first played it? How do you like it? I think it's fun. I think it's fun. Now, the pals don't have evolutions, but you can... I think you can fuse them. I don't know how the fusion thing works, though. I'm gonna have to... I did get a technology that's able to fuse pals together. Some people call it a blender. It kind of sort of looks like a blender, but I don't know how it actually works because I haven't built it yet. But when I am able to make it, we'll find out together when that happens. Pals become protein. What do you think we're all made of? Okay, let me put the link again. Anyone who wants to join, please use the link or type in the code. It looks like a blender. If we have a little time after stream, I'll show it to you. I don't mind. What do you call this? Booting up Palworld for a little bit after stream. You're rusty, and I've been getting beat up in rank regularly. We are both the same. We're both the same. I beat up a bunch of animals and captured them to force them into a slave labor, and I reward them with head pats, and I got raided by a pal who's canonically attracted to humans. Where are you? I still haven't seen that one. I know what it looks like, but I feel like you're farther ahead of me because I haven't seen that thing yet. I know what you're talking about, though. Some of the pals' lores are wild. However, pals like Depresso. Depresso is amazing. It's maybe not the best pal to use, but its attitude and the way it works around your base is great. That's all I can say. It's great. Like I said, it's still in early access, so who knows what else they're going to add to the game, but I'm hoping they add more things, wacky things. Your first raid. Depresso is actually pretty cute, not gonna lie. I think there's a meme going on around now about Depresso mining. If you haven't seen it yet, Depresso mining, look that up because it's kind of funny. Basically, it's Depresso just like swinging the pickaxe on a rock and really slowly. Like they're about to die. It's like, why am I here? Why are we here? Just to suffer? I can feel it. I can feel my soul leaving me right now, kind of thing. Depresso is great though. As a character, Depresso is great. But yeah, I think I've got raided by 3 opposing human factions already off stream, which were a pain in the butt to fight just because they were so strong. Also, I got raided by a fire furry, and when I say fire furry, I'm talking about like actual furry that throws fire, which was super darn strong. But I was able to catch it, so it's mine now. Eat that. Imagine catching the things that raid you. Yeah, that's what I did. Off stream. I wish I caught it, but anyway. I wish I recorded it, but oh well. Your first capture goal is Depresso? I mean, I guess you could. Just keep in mind Depresso comes up at night, I think. So if it's a day cycle, you won't be able to catch it just yet. Mahjong nights for gossip and tea. Yeah, my tea. Do you guys have tea for me? Do you have any gossip for me that we can talk about? It can't just be on me here. I mean, I get it. I'm the streamer, but I can't be the only one who has tea that we can talk about. Hey, Ruby, welcome. If you wanna play, you're gonna have to wait until this game is over because we got one going. Yeah. Oh yeah. Keep in mind if you're playing Palworld, there are pals that only appear at night and only appear in the morning. So yes, the day-night cycle is real. And yes, you can capture field bosses. You cannot capture tower bosses except through a glitch, apparently. You are level 58 in Palworld? Holy crap. I mean, I know I don't play except for on stream, but holy crap. I'll be playing more next week, okay? I'll be playing more next week. And I want to explore more, but my main concern right now in Palworld is finding a ore mining site. I need a lot of ore, and there's not a whole lot of places that have like a cluster of ores together, so I need to figure out where the heck I'm gonna go for that. No gossip, feeling envious of my partner who's currently on a ski trip with his work team. Ski trip with work team? That sounds nice. Even if I hate the people, that sounds like a nice thing to do, just so I don't have to do any work. Why is it worth work? No. I know you can get ore in caves, but I want the camp to be mining ore, so I can make another base. However, I need to make a base near ore sites. You get what I'm saying here? I need to make a base near ore sites. I can't make a base inside a dungeon. And if I'm mining in a dungeon, that's me mining, not the pals mining. I need them to mine. That's not my job. That's their job. Yes, I am running a work camp. No, it is not slave labor. It is forced internship because they are mine. That's what it is. They are mine, so it is forced internship. Do they get paid in food? I do not head pat them. That is unprofessional. What else? What other rules have I put down for the pals? They sleep outside because I haven't made it to. I haven't made a thing where they can sleep inside yet. I'm hoping eventually I get a barn, but I don't know if that's a thing or not. So, still waiting on that. Daydream is nice. I kind of like Depresso. However, my absolute favorite right now, I think it's Liftmonk. I think Liftmonk's pretty cool. Though my initial favorite would have to be the cat. The cat is, I think, my best worker, and the cat is great for helping with things around the base. Unpaid internships, they get paid in food. That's paid. That's pay. They don't get money because they can't use money. There is a difference there. If they can use money, I might consider giving them a salary. But their salary is whatever is in the food bin. Level 13 attack is a nuke and a night nuke. Oh, Daydream? I think one of the comps with Daydream is just get a team of Daydreams. Like put 4 Daydreams in your team and then one main pal. Switch to that main pal, and all the other 4 Daydreams are gonna like be with you attacking at the same time. Now the Daydreams attacking like that aren't as strong as a main Daydream, but it's still hilarious, and anything that it fights is probably gonna die quickly. Do you see the giant wall of text I put up there a lot whenever I talk? I don't know if that's a... Maybe I should stop that. I don't know. Should I? It's communism. They all get their needs met and supplies are met to progress socialistic. Yes, it is. It is a commune. Except I'm the leader. Yeah. Yeah, daydreams are pretty good. I think they're also pretty helpful around camp. Honestly, to me, anything that can carry stuff, mine, handicraft, those are all good ones. The rarer ones for me are the ones that can like cook, because there's not a whole lot of those. I mean, yeah, you can get the fox, but all it does is cook. I have the furry fire one. I keep forgetting what its name. I keep calling it Zoltrak, but Zoltrak is a spell from Freerian, and Zoltrak is not its name. I know for sure. Though maybe I can call it Zoltrak once I get the game up again. Anyway, the fire furry does all the human things that humans can do: handicraft, mine, carry stuff. It's very, very good, and also breathe fire, so it can even cook for me. However, I need it in my team, so it's not allowed to leave it until it gets another buddy that can replace it, or you know, another buddy that can do the housework, so to say. Yeah. There's a big fish you can save in raider camps. He has a level 3 crafting and farming. Big fish. What big fish? I fought a boss fish kind of thing. Well, it was more like a boss dragon snake. Lunaris. Okay, I am very underleveled. I think I am level 19 currently. And I haven't learned anything up to level 19 yet because I want to do that on stream. But yeah, I think I'm still far away from that. We only beat the first tower last night. Not tomorrow, but when I stream again, probably Monday, I will be going around looking for a ore mining site, as well as hopefully finding more towers so that I know where they are and challenge them when I get the chance. Yeah, that is the plan. I'm a streamer. I don't think there's a objection from most people playing Palworld off stream, but I just kind of want to do it on stream as part of the journey kind of thing. And also there's funny stuff that happens off stream that doesn't happen on stream. So it's like, let's just do it then. Let's also do it then. Yeah, I'm not even sure what happened here. I somehow got first. Does anyone want to fill in the 4th slot? Anyone want to fill in the 4th slot? Yeah, I try not to catch any new things off stream or go to new places, though I did a little bit of going to new places just to find mining sites. Still haven't found any, but I didn't want to go too far, so not doing any of that. I didn't really build anything off stream except for what was broken during the raids. So that's as far as I got regarding that one. However, I was able to level up a couple of times just because while getting raided, I did catch a few things. So catching in Palworld levels you up very, very quickly compared to fighting. Like, you know, in Pokemon, fighting and catching are about the same EXP. In Palworld, catching is more EXP than fighting until your 10th catch, and then it's the same then. So what Palworld really does encourage you is to keep catching more, keep catching multiples up to a certain point anyway, and then you can't grind off that anymore. But it's the fastest way to progress. Okay, let's add the AI back in. It is the fastest way to progress, which is nice. I guess if you're grinding levels, then you will feel the grind, but it's better to, I think it's better to go off, explore, catch new things, and then you just kind of level up along the way. I mean, most of the pals that you meet up aren't that strong to begin with. There's a few high level ones, and there's definitely some boss ones that might be a little bit suicidal to fight, especially early on. But it's not too bad otherwise. And I feel like Palworld is fairly balanced in the way that you're not really forced to grind. You're grinding as you explore, but it's not like active grinding where it's like, oh no, I have to grind 20 levels over this gym trainer in Pokemon, actual Pokemon, to be able to beat them, because otherwise I'm just gonna hurt so much. Sanma, maybe after this one. We gotta get through this game first. But yeah, I don't know. I think the way Palworld is made, I like it. I have no objections to it. Now, what can they do on top of what they've already done? Not entirely sure. The one wish list for me is being able to fight other other people. You can do that if you invite them to your world, but what I want is like, you know, having a lobby or something. A lobby outside of the world where you can like queue up and then fight them in that kind of thing. Inviting people to your world or their world, fun, but there's got to be a way to fight each other that doesn't involve that, I feel like. Yeah, you get 10 times XP for increasing the settlement and developing stuff, and just building in general or farming in general gets you experience also. So it's kind of nice. There's like lots of sources of experience. Even though the sources of experience might be small, it adds up because you still have to gather a lot of things. Keep in mind though, Palworld is a game where you don't want to be doing a whole lot of active gathering and making unless you have to. You leave that to your pals. That is pretty much the gist there. And come on. In Pokemon, you know that's what they're doing off camera. You just don't see it because you're playing as the 10-year-old / maybe 16, 17-year-old now on the game, and you're basically mainly focused on the storyline, which sometimes has to take down evil organizations or gyms and whatnot, but you're not actually using your Pokemon to do work. But everyone else in the world is using their Pokemon to do work, whatever that work might be. I mean, look at Chansey in the Poke Center. They have work. They're healing. You don't get to do that. That's NPC work, apparently. But imagine if you had your own base in actual Pokemon, and you can do the stuff in Pokemon that you can do in Palworld, maybe minus the guns, because it might not be Nintendo style to do so. But, just saying. I think Game Freak or the Pokemon Company these days have gotten a little bit too complacent. So they need a wake-up call. If you want Pokemon to improve, you need a wake-up call, and that wake-up call is Palworld. But in the meantime, before they get woken up, Palworld is doing a heck of a good job, whatever the heck it's doing. Would love to run a Pokemon healing center. Yeah, I mean, they can probably do that. But the thing is, that's not the case here. Here's the funny part. I saw a video. Was it a TikTok short or something like that? I don't know. I don't go to TikTok, but I got shown a video of the comparison of Palworld's least interesting fight versus Pokemon's most intense fight. No. And basically, Pokemon's most intense fight is a yawn fest compared to Palworld's least interesting fight, which is like get all your mons together, raid this one field boss, and hopefully help you survive, and everyone's dying left and right. That's the least interesting one. Or I guess the least interesting is soloing a boss 1v1, but that also can get pretty interesting. So I don't know. If that's the least interesting, I would like to see what the most interesting Palworld fight would look like. Maybe get a boss, set up some guns around, and then just kind of blow it up. I think that might be funny. Congratulations on catching your first human! How do you feel? By the way, I did catch, I think, 2 other humans off stream, but I also sold them. Yes, you can sell humans in the game. So, yeah. Guess who's the human trader now? I don't know why I did that off stream. I should have done it on stream, to be honest. But I kind of just wanted to see how much they would sell for compared to the pals, and apparently humans sell for a lot more than pals do. Well, here's the thing, okay? Here, in my defense, the humans I sold, except for one of them, I sold a total of 3 humans. Okay, I admit to selling 3 humans. 2 of them were syndicate thugs. And one was a skilled NPC, which didn't have anything useful, so I kicked him out. However, the said skilled NPC went back to their spot where I caught them, so everything's okay, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, everything's okay. Now the syndicates, there's more syndicates than I can count for, and you know, they're all bad people, so why not catch them? Why not catch them? So, yeah, I know you can kidnap humans, but why would I want to? Why would I want to? They don't deserve any pets. I don't even pet my own pals. Why would I pet humans? Building karma to get raided. I did get raided like 5 times, so yeah. Are there actually waifus to catch? Like actual human waifus? I'm not talking about the bosses because that involves a glitch. However, if there are waifus outside, I want to know more. Are they actually good waifus, or are they just evil waifus? Because they're evil waifus with the red glowy eyes, it might not... I would rather have the pals that look like waifus. There are pals that look like waifus. Yes, I would like to know where these pals that look like waifus are. The hunter lady, can you catch her? She's not my type. She really isn't my type. I would not want to catch her. I would rather have the pal waifus, to be honest. Does that make me a furry? By some definition, probably. I mean, if that makes me a furry, okay, sure, why not? There are plenty of pal waifus. I have not met any of them yet, but I have seen plenty of pictures. I have seen plenty of pictures. She's your type? Okay, well, have at it. Have at it. Have at it. Okay, if anyone wants to see more Palworld, I'm gonna be doing more Palworld maybe on Monday. I'm gonna be doing it for a Monday morning stream. So it's gonna be like an endurance stream. Because I have a lot of stuff I need to do and time passes by really, really fast. But as far as... Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I have in mind for today as far as Palworld goes is I can show you what the blender looks like. But that's about it. Holy crap, I'm down. I am down. Congratulations, Amy. Okay, let's try a 3-player. Because apparently that's what we gotta do today. Let's go. Don't kill her trying though. If she dies in the game, you die in real life. Oh. I don't think I can. I don't think I can even if I tried. She's probably kind of strong. And if she's not the strong one, there's also the security guards. Security guards are kind of mean. Just FYI. So if you do capture the security guards, I think that would be kind of funny. The bingo mission event. I haven't done any of that, but though I do think I may have what do you call this? I may have been able to clear a few of those earlier. Yeah, there's a bingo thing in Mahjong Soul right now, but I don't really do them. You were about to enter? Oops. Okay, so after this one, we'll do a 4-player one so you can enter. We'll do a 4-player one after this one. You know, I'm about to eat one of these dried plums, even as not a batsu. Just because I feel like I need to like hydrate a little bit, and maybe the dried plums might hydrate me a little bit. I don't know. But it also gives me Yeah, I still have that because I don't really eat it that often. I also have the pickled plums, which I tried on rice, but I have it. It's still kind of strong. It's still kind of strong. But they preserve very well, so I keep them for stream purposes. Though if I have to eat them before I move out later in the year, then I will. Yeah, okay, so syndicates don't deserve pettings. They deserve the butcher knife. I don't know if you knew. Which, by the way, I haven't gotten the butcher knife yet in Palworld, but I will in the next session. Yeah. I mean, that Pokemon meat in actual Pokemon has got to come from somewhere. So, Lechonks are basically eaten in the new region. So yes. So yes, they do eat Pokemon in actual Pokemon. So it's not different in Palworld, except they're more straightforward about it. There is no auto gather zones for ore. That's fine, as long as the ore is still on the ground, and you know, the pals can carry it over. Should be okay. If they don't carry it over, I hope it doesn't like disappear. I don't think I've seen items disappear yet in Palworld. But if they do, that's something to consider. Are the Pokemon characters canonically vegetarian? I don't know. Are they? I actually don't know. I would assume they eat meat. I don't think I've seen anyone eat meat on screen. But, you know, the Spanish region has meat dishes that give you buffs, if I remember correctly. No. Like cats, what happened to your passive? Where did the passive go? Okay, if the syndicate thug prefers to punch but has a gun, why have him on the team? Kick it out. Kick it out. He's useless. He is useless. He's more useless than the chicken. And the chicken can only lay eggs, which is more useful than punching. I would take the chicken over the syndicate thug any day. No. Here, that's the mistake here. That's a mistake. If you let the syndicate thug be your friend, they're just gonna take advantage of you. Because they would like to leave. But you can't make it easy for them to leave. You have to get rid of them one of two ways. By selling them or butchering them. There is no ifs or buts. You cannot have them be your friend. No. No. Imitation Pokemon meat. Weren't there like I know they eat Magikarp. I think that was an actual dish. But I mean, here's the weird thing for me in Pokemon. In Pokemon, supposedly, I mean, they do eat other Pokemon. Humans eat Pokemon. I would assume Pokemon also eat other Pokemon in the wild. In the wild, that is the distinction there. Yeah, they eat Magikarp. I mean, it probably tastes terrible, but because it is a carp, but they eat Magikarp. what am I thinking? I mean, I assume there's meat in Pokemon. I just don't know where it would be. Hey, somehow I made it out first and third. Okay. Let's try to get a full room on 4-player. Okay. Here's a reason why Pokemon seems friendly is because the stuff that makes Pokemon dark is not put in the forefront. If anything, Palworld is just more upfront about it. But it does the same things as Pokemon does. Palworld does the same things as Pokemon does. Except you just don't see it in Pokemon as often. So it's not that different. I think the only difference from Palworld and Pokemon is the Pals can use guns and they can catch humans. You can't do that in Pokemon, and I don't think that has happened in Pokemon. Palworld is more realistic Pokemon. It's not so much more realistic Pokemon. It's a more transparent Pokemon. What I mean by that is anything that happened in Pokemon happens in Palworld. It's just, like I said, it's just being upfront about it. It's not more realistic, it's just being upfront about it. They're not trying to hide it, they're not having any euphemisms about it. It is just how it is. It is just how it is. Yeah, it's definitely making all the jokes that you all once thought at one time. I mean, it's surprising that Pokemon even had breeding to begin with. At least you know that was going on. But in Palworld, yeah, the breeding happens out in the open because, you know, they're basically animals. Which was also kind of funny when I think about it, because humans and Pokemon, in actual Pokemon, supposedly were able to marry each other at one point in ancient history. But you only really know that if you read the lore in the libraries. I'm not sure which library it was, but I remember seeing that screenshot somewhere. Like all the people who were pining on Gardevoir, that is what do you call this? Canon. That is legit canon. Imagine, and maybe even Vaporeon for all the memers out there. Just saying. The Vaporeon meme is maybe real. At least with Palworld, I don't think there's any egg groups that you have to worry about. I know they're a little bit more picky about that in Pokemon. In Palworld, as long as it's male and female, then they can breed. You can have Wailord and Skitty in different egg groups breed. Or whatever equivalent that might be. Just saying. Yeah, I think the cooking and actually having the pals do actual work I think is the one thing that people didn't expect. And also like eating your pals. How else are you gonna get meat? How else are you gonna get food? We can't eat berries all day. The vegan run is never meant to be. You can, I think, do a vegan run. I don't think it makes it easier or harder. It's just a thing you can do. A pacifist run, though, I think is impossible. It's impossible if you want to do certain things, I guess. Anyway, I don't know. I am having fun with Palworld. I want to play it more. I don't know how far I'll get on stream, but yeah. I'm going to bet that there are people doing cannibalism runs. Yeah, actually, yes. People have done that for sure. Cannibal only, I think, would be really difficult because capturing a human is tough to begin with, and you don't get the item to butcher your pals until mid-early game. So until then, all you can really eat are the meat that's dropped by other pals and berries and bread. Yeah, I think cannibal only run it would be really difficult unless you were supplied the meat by someone outside. Though now that I think about it, I think the items that get dropped by butchering aren't always meat items. It depends on the pal. So if a pal normally drops meat, they will drop meat. But if a pal doesn't usually drop meat, they won't start magically dropping meat. So you really can't do a cannibal only run. I don't think it's possible. Though it is funny to think about. Now, if humans started dropping meat, that's one thing. They do drop money, they do drop items. I don't think I've seen them drop food. But yeah, I think cannibal only doesn't really work. Funny thing though, the pals that you would think might be vegetarian or vegan in your party, they will eat meat and eggs if you put it out there for them to eat. They will eat that. You can also have them eat only berries. And the nice thing about that is berries are plentiful, so if that's the only thing they eat, that's also okay. They don't need anything else really. The meat should be reserved for you because it restores so much hunger. And you kind of need that. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Man. What if you didn't do a vegan run, but you ate berries and eggs only? You can definitely do that. That is not impossible. The only downside to doing a berry and eggs only run is that I think you would have to carry a lot of berries and a lot of eggs on you because they don't restore hunger as much as meat does. And because of that, it would weigh more for the stack. So meat and berries, I think, weigh roughly about the same for each one. So but meat, like I said, meat heals, restores more hunger. So yeah, it would just be heavier initially. Though once you start eating the berries or the eggs, then it will lighten up, but it does take a little while before you get to that point. Hunger really isn't a huge issue in Palworld from what I've seen. Like the hunger meter goes down, but it doesn't go down too quickly. And eventually you get this item called a feed bag where you can actually auto eat, which helps a lot if you don't like to feed yourself each time that you are hungry. I mean, in the base, the pals feed themselves anyway. You just can't do it on yourself until you unlock the tech for it. So there's that. I was looking at the ancient tech so there's like normal tech and ancient tech that you can build in the game. Ancient tech, you can't build them unless you beat bosses. So that's one limiting factor. But if you did but for the ancient tech, there's not a whole lot of unique stuff. There was less unique stuff than I expected. Like there's the egg incubator, there's the blender, and then the ones that get upgraded continuously are the feed bag, as well as a grappling hook, apparently. I'm not too interested in the grappling hook, but there is also a sphere bazooka, Pokeball bazooka, if you will, which can launch your balls much farther than you can throw them, which sometimes help, especially if you're like trying to catch something that's flying in the air or something that's really, really far. I'm not that far ahead yet, but I assume it can reach that far. But you can also upgrade it, so it's like it can go even further. How far can it go? So far. Now, I'm personally not one to make any weird builds or constructions. One thing for sure is if you want to like go full creative in Palworld like you do in Minecraft, I don't think that's super possible. Just because in Minecraft you have like individual blocks, right? They're basically pixels. But in Palworld you have set things that you can build, like panels and whatnot. I guess you can still kind of sort of do that, but it won't have that same aesthetic as you would probably get in Minecraft or something like that, if that's something you like to do. But you could still make like weirdly shaped buildings and whatnot if you were so inclined. It's just not gonna be as freeform, I suppose. I should, at some point, make like a factory. There was a screenshot in the store about it, where there's a lot of leaf monks that are that all the leaf monks look so sad, but they're all like in this production line making guns for you, guns and ammo. And it's kind of funny that that's one of the things they advertise in the trailer. But it is real. You can do it. And you might want to do it, actually. Because eventually you're going to need a lot of ammunition for the guns that you use. Not just around the base, but for whenever you're out doing things also. It's funny that guns become the meta. Like, you get a club early on. I never actually used the club. Once you get the bow is like your best friend. And then when you get the crossbow, it becomes your next best friend. And then when you finally get the gun, which I don't have yet, then it becomes your even better best friend. Do you score more if you make 3 pieces together, or just make a handful? Or just have a handful? You mean on the Mahjong hand? Well, the Mahjong hand, 3 of a kinds do better. If you have more of, well, not necessarily more of those, but if you have only those, they do better than a hand that has 3 of a kind and runs. However, there are certain patterns to the hands. So, I would review the Yaku manual. There's some like if you memorize the 1 Yaku and 2 Yaku hands and the Yakuman, then that's really all you need. Anything else in between are like kind of special situations that you can kind of mix in to your hand, but recognizing those is kind of tough sometimes. So I tend to focus on really simple Yakus. And I'm not talking about the all simples. I'm talking about just simple rules for Yakus, at least. But it's good to recognize some of the weirder combinations that you can do. I say weirder, but it's really all about stacking. It's really all about stacking small points together to make a bigger thing. Or, just go for the Yakuman. That also works. Go for the Yakuman, keep all the Dora, keep all the dragons until you actually can't use them anymore. A lot of beginners will stick to Tanyao which is the all simples, which is really predictable for the most part, but it's very effective. So if you can at least get that down and use that consistently, or build around whatever you have in your hand, then the only thing left to learn after that is making sure you pay attention to everyone else's discards. Paying attention to everyone else's discards is the harder part of Mahjong, because if you know what everyone's discarding, you know what they want and what they don't want. That is the rule. Basically, you look at everyone's discards, you look at your own hand, see what you have, see what they don't have, that kind of thing. I don't know if Domino works that way, to be honest. It's been a long time since I played Domino, so I don't know if that's how pool hands work in Domino. But yeah. Well, with reading discards, you can at least kind of tell what people may not want, but there's also ways to play around with discards once you get to that level where like you can make it seem like you don't want a certain tile or certain sets of tiles, but you're actually baiting people into giving that to you. I don't know if you can call that a bluff, but it's definitely a misdirection of sorts. You can also do a thing with discards where like you're discarding everything that everyone else is discarding, basically giving them no clue on what you actually want. There's also that. But the baits, the discard baits, are what you really have to watch out for once you get to that level. Early on, you don't really have to worry about it too much, but it doesn't hurt to start developing those skills. Discard reading is huge in Mahjong, and I am not doing that right now because I don't feel like I have to. If I was playing seriously, I would be reading the discards more. I would be reading the discards more and hopefully be better at it, to be honest. But I actively do not do that, just because I don't feel the need to. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like in Adept 2, if I was actually playing seriously in the warm-up rounds before we do these things, then I need to pay attention more and not just try to make my hand with whatever I can get together. And sometimes just because you can make a hand doesn't mean you have to go through with it. If someone seems to be winning, or someone seems to be waiting for something that you are going to discard, it might be better to just break your hand rather than pay them the points, because it's really hard to win, but it's really easy to lose. Keep that in mind. The one thing you should probably learn while playing Mahjong is play defensively. Playing defensively is the best thing you can do in Mahjong. Playing offensively works sometimes, but it's a little bit trickier. However, people tend to play that way because, it's fun. It's fun, but if you want to advance, you have to play more defensively. Cat is eating posteriors right now? What the heck? I'm gonna turn one of my Pokemon into a flamethrower. Oh, the fox one. I still haven't done that. It was pretty funny when I saw someone else do it, but I haven't gotten around to it because I have other mons I like to have in my team, and the fox is on iron making duty. Yes, I can capture more, but it's like, that's its job, that's its life. It's not meant to be outside. Well, technically it is outside, but it's not meant to be exploring with me, because the ones I carry with me for explorations are heavy hitters, basically. There's a mod that simply switches the fox around so the fire comes from the butt. Ah, I see. I mean, that's kind of funny, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Crap, I need more water. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun. Has anyone been watching anime this season? I know it's been a few weeks already. And I have been starting to watch anime again to quote unquote help with my Japanese learning, hearing comprehension. I don't know if it works too well, but I have been doing that. So it's been a full year since I watched. I think the last time I watched was 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe not quite that long because I think I've been doing some on and off. But now I'm watching a little bit more than I usually do. Which is, you know, still better than what I used to do. Dungeon Meshi and Dangers in My Heart Season 2. I don't think I know that second one. But I have been watching also Dungeon Meshi. I have also been watching the Degenerate Magical Girls. which I have read the manga, so I know what to expect, but I want to see where they take it. I want to see where they take the Degen Magical Girls on screen. Though I think they've already done so much already on screen that it's like, okay, just how much more can you do? Yeah. I'm caught up on the manga as far as I'm concerned. To the vet, is it better to hold off on the matches or the 1-2-3s? 1-2-3s. Hold off on the 1-2-3s. The sequences can easily mess up your hand if you call them, unless you know what you're doing. Like, if you're going for all simples with the sequences, go for it. But if you have an end tile on that sequence, and you have nothing else to back up that end tile with, it's kind of rough, let's just say. And it can also break your hand, so keep that in mind. I have one question. How degenerate is a Degen Magical Girls? Very degen. However, it's kind of still early in the anime season for it to get super degen, but it's degen enough. It's degen enough right now. It gets super degen in the manga much later on, though. As far as how degen we're talking about, let's see. Yuri that actually crosses the line. I don't know if that's the worst of it, but Yuri that crosses the line. Though I don't think they showed it in full detail in the manga. But I think the SNMX in the start of the story is still pretty decent already as far as degen goes. Just saying. Flamethrower is fun. Flamethrower is fun. Eventually you'll get a pal that can actually equip a gun. And that's it. And that's also fun. Maybe not as fun as burning things, but still pretty fun. Yeah, I think as far as the name Yuri is concerned, there's a lot of Russians that are also named Yuri, right? So I wonder how they feel about it when they watch the anime. I don't know. Good lord, I didn't think it was gonna come out. I also didn't think it was gonna be worth this much. I'll take it. Hey, that's what Mahjong is about, right? Sabotage. Winning and sabotage. It's like you have all the Dora in the world enough to make a Kazoe Yakuman, and then boom, someone else wins with a Tanyao. Why? Oh, your cat is bothering you? Put the cat to work. Put the cat to work. It should be able to carry things, at least. Anyway. Yeah, so I've been watching Dungeon Meshi, I've been watching the Degen Magical Girls. I started Freerun, I think, just as the new year, just right before the new year, and I've been watching it, and I'm enjoying it in a very sad way. Like, I don't think I've cried in Freerun, but I came to tears a few times, and it just kind of Freerun just kind of makes me remember, like, holy crap. Time can pass by so quickly. What am I actually missing in the life that I have right now? I don't know. Freeman kind of makes you think. It's like one of those things. I also finally watched Bochi. And I gotta say it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just not your cute girls doing cute things. It's cute girls doing cute things, but there's actually depth to the story. There's actually depth to the story and Bochi, which I was kind of surprised to find out. I hope they do a season 2, though. I hope they do a season 2. Oh yeah, isn't the Blue Archive anime coming out in April? Was it April? I wonder what they're gonna do for that. Because I feel like they can easily do the main storyline up to the end of the first season. But they can also easily just do all the side stories and never actually touch the real story. You know what I'm saying? I say that as if I actually read the... I say that as if I actually read through the main story. I haven't. I just know I logged in the one time when it was the season 1 ending. And I just know there was a giant robot fight. And there was all these other giant bosses you had to put down. But to me, the giant robot fight was probably the best thing ever. That was it. I don't know what else happened during that time, to be honest. But I'm kind of interested in I'm interested to see how it's gonna be. Your game crashed. I think you need to lower down your settings if that's the case. Because I don't think I've crashed yet in Palworld, but settings could easily make it crash if you set it up too high. Okay, I don't know if I should be worried about what's happening in Ruby's hand, or if we're okay still. I mean, eventually, if you have too much stuff in the base, then things could lag, but I don't think I've gotten to that point yet. I think I've lagged a couple of times on screen, which might mean I have to lower my settings, but I don't know if that's actually something I need to do. I'll find out next time. I will find out next time. Jeez, I should have had some tea. My throat is not really doing too well right now, and I need some tea. But it's too late to have tea. Do lag on a 1650. What is a 1650? Is that your graphics card? 1650 is really old if that's the case. What is my graphics card right now? I think I have a 3050 or 3060. I think? I'm gonna have to double check. Your cat's name is a 1650? What? That's a weird name for a cat. I think that's the most unique cat name I've ever seen.
Cool.
Speaking of which, I am playing a gacha game right now called Reverse 1999. I think it's the only gacha game I'm playing right now. And it's like one of the future banner character names is just numbers. 37? 6? What the heck is going on here? I guess I'll find out once we finally get into it. But it's like, it's interesting. Very greedy with the 5. Well, I'm not sure what 5 you're talking about. It could be anything here. The dog skin? The dog is pretty neat. The dog is pretty nice. Not gonna lie. It also kind of helps that the dog is like one of the stronger characters, but a lot of people will just roll for the dog. It's like how many times in a gacha game can you have a dog as a character and that's actually useful? Not, I think we can say that's the only one. You can say that's the only one. I don't know. I play it for the vibes. I play it for the vibes. It's also very easy on my time. So. Oof. Okay, not too hard. Not too hard. Yeah, I remember waifu from Arknights. I have seen that. I don't know if that was intentional or that was it just kind of happened that way. Because she's supposedly Chinese, or at least has a Chinese name. So it doesn't matter what you have in your hand as long as someone can finish it first. Rule of Mahjong. It doesn't matter what your hand is. If someone finishes theirs first, that's all that matters. And part of the molding. Absolutely part of the molding. That's kind of how I feel sometimes when I have like I am on the brink of having a Yakuman, or my hand is full of Doras, and then someone just so happens to win before I do. It's like, please let me have this moment. And they don't. They don't let you have it. Sometimes it's also the table. So here's the thing about Mahjong. You can be the most methodical player in the world, but if the table does not want to give you the tiles, it's not going to give you the tiles. The table chooses its winners and chooses its losers. However, you have to capitalize on what the table's wishes are. So some people like to believe in this thing called flow in Mahjong, and tapping into the flow of the table is really, really hard. I don't even know if it's possible, but some people have a really, really good feel for it too. This is the basis of Saki, except Saki also has some magic crap going on there, so we can't really use that. We can't really use that, but it does. It's kind of interesting that it has both aspects: the logical play and the magic play, basically. There is magic in Mahjong. Can you tap into it? That is up to you. How well are you listening to the discards of the table? You kind of develop a sixth sense eventually if that's how you do play. And if you are able to do that consistently, great. You are possibly better at heeding warnings that some people might not pick up even with logical play. It's superstition? Yeah, kind of. Actually, it probably is 100% superstition, but I say but. It's not like there's no basis for it.
No.
Are you serious? This is what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter what you have. It's who finishes first. At least I'm still second, so. Alright then. Congratulations, the cats. Also, congratulations, Amy, on your previous win. Try again next time, Ruby. GG, everyone. That is all for Mahjong today. We're coming about time right now for today's session. But we can still talk a little bit more, though. We can still talk a little bit more. Let's move to the chatting room really quick. Hoping these buttons work. I had to fix my Stream Deck because the thing I used before this for macros and stuff was not working too well. But now we good. We Gucci. Yeah, it was nice playing with everyone. I'm also glad to see people come back after a long hiatus. I hope you guys enjoy here. Chapel doing chores. Partner says he's almost dead from his trip, but coming back home soon. Okay, I see. Haven't had this much of a rough first time since high school. Wow. Syndicate Thug is such a cutie pie the way he kills animals. I think it's the same as everyone. Yeah. Well, I'm just glad to be able to hang out with people. I mean, I can just yammer away random stuff and maybe even yammer away with more salt, I guess. But it's better if I have people to talk things with or talk random things about. But yeah, um, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's part of this being a streamer, right? The part being a streamer is part interaction and also part just doing whatever on stream and making sure everyone has fun with it. I think I'm just starting to understand that after almost 3 years, more than 3 years of doing this thing. Before I was just like, okay, let's just stream whatever and see how it goes. These days I'm like, let's stream whatever, see how it goes, but also make sure everyone has fun with it at the same time. So I'm still also kind of still doing things. Still kind of still doing things. Capitalism won't take me away from innuendo jokes. Yeah, I mean, innuendo jokes are always welcome, as far as I'm concerned. Do I come up with them? Sometimes. It happens. But, I mean, I think if there's one thing you gotta know about me, if you're not used to it by now, that is not off the table for me. It's just not something I do often. It's not my main personality, but it's not like I won't do it. It just happens when it happens. I'm more about irony in all the ways that irony can be. I don't know. It's just a thing. Kind of lost track of the schedule for a while, but loving to come back every 2 weeks. Yeah, I think for the Mahjong thing, I'm gonna keep doing every 2 weeks. I'm still trying to figure out what to do in the between weeks. I think on some of those in between weeks, I want to still do Mahjong. However, it's gonna be like challenge Mahjong. There is one challenge Mahjong thing I want to do where I play two Mahjong games at the same time. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out, but that is something I want to do. Or maybe grind in Mahjong Soul, but I feel like I can do something better with the time than just do those. You know, there's other games I want to do. There's other topics, like actual talk topics I want to cover. Like we've had Tori come in earlier this week and we talked about Japan stuff. Japan experiences, Japan travel, and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't seen that stream, you can check that VOD out. Tori and I talked about some stuff for a couple hours, and I want to find more people that I can talk Japan stuff, experiences in Japan, that kind of thing. So eventually, I'll find some people, but we'll see how long it takes to get there. Because I usually reserve those for people I've actually know rather than just random people I've never met before. It's just easier that way, you know. You know, I love to hear the venting. You say that as if I vent every time I stream, which doesn't always happen, but it has happened more times than I wanted to, which is at least twice. In the same year, even. In the same year, even. Actually, no, when was the last time I vented? No, I vented like once last year, and this is the first time I vented this year. But it's like, it's warranted. I feel like it's warranted, but just I'm just kind of saying it's warranted because things happen and I'm kind of grumpy about it. Right, that's my thing. The duckier the voice, the shadier the person. I've met her in person. She's fine. I've met her in person. We had dinner before. Let's see. You were getting ready to vent last Mahjong night, but now it's fully come out. Well, I think last Mahjong night, there wasn't really anything to vent about. I think it was more like Depresso, which I really don't want to do that to you guys, but, you know, I guess as long as it's entertaining, I guess it's okay, and I'm not going full Depresso. but whatever. I don't know. I don't really get depressed. I get frustrated more than I do get depressed, which is, I don't know which is worse. The thing is, when I get frustrated, I'd like to vent it off somehow, but yeah. There's only so many ways I can vent it without being destructive. I don't think I've been a destructive venter, but I have like hit inanimate objects with full force to at least vent off some energy, which may not be the healthiest thing or may not be the least painful thing, but it at least gets rid of most of it. But I don't know if I don't think that's productive. I don't think that's productive. Anyway. So yeah, I am still working on try eating. I eat all the time. That's part of the problem. Thing is eating. If I have to eat as a stress reliever, which I do anyway, I try to make it tasty at least. I try to at least make it tasty. Congratulations on the boss, baby. Anyway, what am I thinking right now? Oh yeah, I still need to make. I've been slacking off on the kanji learning skits. I say learning in quotes, by the way. I've been slacking on those kanji skits this week because of Palworld, but hopefully I'll get a video out next week. So keep an eye on that if you've been seeing any of those and wondering why certain kanji are the way things are. I have no answers for you, by the way. If you've seen any of the previous kanji skits, it's not that I give you answers, I just bring up more questions and make you scratch your head. Why is it the way it is? Other than history. There's got to be a better answer than history. But yeah, there's more videos coming out of that. I do want to make more of those because they're short, easy, and kind of fun to just point out all these things. So there's that. Speaking of video, there is a video that's going to be releasing on the hour. Like, it is past 11 p.m. for me. So on the next hour, there is going to be a video coming out for Palworld. Keep an eye on it. I think it's pretty funny. Share it if you think it's funny, please. Because I think I think we could hit viral levels. I just hope I don't get taken down for it. I can see it happening, but yeah, keep an eye on it. More cooking streams would be cool, but ruling meat is still bully material. Cooking streams, I do want to do more cooking streams, but I am I don't know. I can't think of what to cook on stream. There are things I do want to cook on stream that are kind of cursed, but I don't know if I want to dedicate a stream for that, is kind of what I'm thinking right now. I want to do other activities that might be a little bit more, what do you call this? That might be a little bit more, not interactive, but at least for me, a little bit more meaningful. Not that cooking is not meaningful, but that's just another form of that's another form of, what do you call this? Zatsu for me. Multiplayer with fellas? Yeah, I need to figure out what though. I guess everyone has Palworld now, so if I do multiplayer with Palworld on stream every once in a while, that would probably be like a different server and not the game I'm working on. But I kind of want to advance in the game I'm doing first though, before I feel comfortable enough to do that. Yeah. We'll see. There's still the MRE that I have, but I'm trying to figure out how to break the MRE in for stream. So yeah, the forbidden MRE is what I'll call it for now. Trying to figure out how to bring the forbidden MRE into stream. I don't think I've ever been 3D. No, I've never been 3D. Never been 3D. I don't even know what I would do if I was 3D. the most 3D you will get from me is the live streams. Like the one, if you haven't seen the one live stream I did in Japan, I don't know how you would find it, to be honest. It might be in the vlog playlist. I am considering moving some vlogs to this channel. Not that I have any on the other channel, but if I put vlogs up, I'm considering putting them on this channel instead because I'm lazy. But at least those vlogs the vlogs I do want to make might have some voiceovers and stuff, which I still haven't done because I'm too busy making other things. And those take a long time to do. It took me a solid 2 weeks to make the WaniKani video, which was more than I thought it would take. But that's how long it took me to make that one. And now I'm behind. So I need to do better. I need to do better. But yeah, the most 3D you're gonna get from me is like streaming on a trip, maybe Japan, maybe not Japan, and just, you know, going around showing you things what I can show you in 30 minutes to an hour, because streaming live, actual live for 2 hours is pain on the data, 1, pain on the battery, 2, and I don't know if I can keep up live action for 2 hours, like actually actively live action for 2 hours, because doing that on the street or out in the wilderness is different than, you know, doing a hand cam or what do you call it? Doing a hand cam or, you know, just a Zatsu. At least with the games, things keep moving. Yes, in real life, things keep moving also, but what the heck are we looking at? I guess just getting the atmosphere in real life is kind of neat. So if I feel the energy at that time, when I do my 3-month travel, then that's when you'll probably find a stream with me. Or I stream at night and I can just give you an update on everything I've done. We'll find out. We'll find out in 8 months or so. But I'll give you more details as it gets closer. That's just what I'm thinking right now. I'm just like spitballing everything, but I do know I want to leave this place in 7 months at least. And then who knows where I go after that. Not a job anytime soon, but yeah, the frustration is off the charts. Frustration is actually off the charts right now. I wish I can just take the weekend, but no, I still have work tomorrow. So, gotta do that. Gotta do my time, and then I see... I just hope it doesn't pan out like I think it does with the hours. Yeah, but the thing is, I want a break. I want a break from all these responsibilities. Were you here when I talked about the whole going back to school thing? I'm not gonna reiterate that right now because I went on a gigantic rant at the beginning of the stream. So if you want to see what I said there, go back to the beginning of the stream afterwards. I had a gigantic rant at the beginning. I really don't want to, but anyway, I'm gonna get ready for bed now and get ready for tomorrow. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. I was gonna show you the blender in Palworld, but we can save that for when I actually stream Palworld next time. Next time being Monday. So keep an eye on that. Also keep an eye on the video that's coming up on the hour if you just want to check it out. So yeah. Can't you resort to 4-month off post-termination? That's what I'm going to be doing. I quit, I go 3 months on a trip, and then hopefully I go either into a job or school right afterwards. That's the plan. But anyway, that's all you get for today regarding that, because I just want to forget about it right now. Or I just don't want to think about it right now. But yeah, thank you all for coming, thank you for watching, thank you for playing, and thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, and see you later. try not to get too frustrated with life. There's only so much life you have to give, and it's not good to be too frustrated with everything that's happening, but you can't help it. So find your peace somehow. Find your peace. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.